Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Now, on screen is a puzzle I did recently. I'm not going to be doing that again. Simon has sent me a puzzle and asked me to open it on screen. This is something he occasionally does. I slightly more often do it to him, but we'll see what surprise lies in store. Sometimes it's to do with who it's from, what the grid looks like, a picture. We will see what we get in a moment. I'm going to quickly mention on Patreon, on the 1st, Labours of Rostam, a brilliant puzzle hunt that we think you'll enjoy a lot. 7 puzzles, all Sudoku. They get more and more complex in terms of the rules, but not to an insane level. But there's a variety of difficulty. Do check them out. There's also other stuff on Patreon like crossword videos and connections videos. And what else? We've got all of our apps which feature, well, I can't relate them to today's Sudoku because I don't know what that features, but we do have Fog of War, of course, and the worms, and they're great too. And on the solution, in the description field, we have Sudoku Pad, and you can support Sven, which would be a good thing to do. But let's have a look at what we're going to open today. Sorry, I just had to cut because I'd been given the wrong URL, I think, or no, not given it, but I'd got my copying thing wrong. Anyway, this is the right one. Let's see what this is. So this is a blank grid. It's a completely blank grid. Okay, why Simon has done this is because we occasionally, less on the channel and more between ourselves, have this conversation about blank grids, where I allege that blank grid puzzles are possible, and we get sent a few because people, I think, know that we'd love to feature them because it's so weird to see a blank grid and a rule set and just go try and solve that uniquely. And I allege to Simon that you need a really long rule set to make a proper blank grid puzzle. But look, this is by Lithium Iron, who is a great name. And the rule set doesn't even need me to scroll down. And it won't, therefore, above my head at the moment, look like it's incredibly long and complicated. I'm going to read it now. We'll see how Lithium Ion, well, we may not see how Lithium Ion has achieved this rule set, but we will see what rule set he has achieved to use a blank grid with. Puzzles called That's 3 in the Corners might be a hint for us there, but we can't use that as a hint. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Cells that are a king's move apart are not allowed to contain identical digits. Well, luckily, even with no warning, on hand I have my little container, and how useful this was recently. And a red king pops out to remind me that digits touching diagonally cannot be identical, basically. That's what the effect of the king's move rule is. The digit in the central cell of each box has to be less than or equal to the box number. So that one has to be less than or equal to 6. Boxes are numbered in normal reading order. You barely needed to add that in the rules. This is box 1, this is box 2, this is box 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Each horizontal 3x1 region that is completely contained in a single box has to sum to the same value. I'm going to assume that it means, actually it probably means in the puzzle. I was going to say that it means the same value as the others in that box, but that is actually equivalent to the same value throughout the puzzle. So the rule is perfectly fairly stated. Each vertical 1x3 region that is completely contained in a single box has to sum to the same value. The digit in the top left cell and the digit in the bottom right cell of the grid must sum to 3. That's why that's 3 in the corners. Those two add up to 3. Okay, that is a really minimalist set of rules. I accept that. You've done it, Lithium Ion. If this puzzle solves uniquely, and it obviously does because you've sent it to us, that is brilliant. That is a really brilliant rule set. It includes things like what we've seen before, but not anything we've actually seen before. So really looking, I'm just going to plunge straight in. Give it a try on the link under the video. I'm going to start now. let's get cracking. So this is a 1 because this box, there's no choice over the central digit. And interestingly then, I can move on to box 2 where the rule is that the digit in the central cell of each box has to be less than or equal to the box number. So this has to be 2 or less than 2. Now we've got 1 there, this is 2, and this is 3 by the same token. This, however, we cannot write a 4 in because that's 2, 3 or 4. That's up to 5, and now the pencil marking's getting a bit out of control. And that can be any digit it likes to be. But there, we get a seed of 1, 2, 3 going in the grid. Now, I'm next going to use this last rule. Having used the first rule, I'm now going to move to the last rule. Oh no, the first rule was the King's Move rule, so I didn't. Anyway, the last rule says the digit in the top left cell and the digit in the bottom right cell of the grid must sum to 3. And I think we've got to do that with a 1 and a 2, because there's no other way of making a sum of 3. Even if you were allowed to use identical digits, it wouldn't matter. So we can write in the 2 and the 1 because of this. So basically, yes, you're quite right. We could have been given a non-blank grid with those 5 digits written in. But the first rule is still going to apply to all of these cells. So Yabu sucks to you. This is clever anyway, I don't care. The digit, okay, boxes are numbered. Now, are we done then? No, we've got all these, right. Now I know the sum of these 3 by 1 rows and columns. And that is because I know the sum of the digits 1 to 9, which populates every row, column, and box in a Sudoku. It's a secret we occasionally share with you, and the answer is 45. So I can divide 45 by 3 and tell you that every row, every 3 by 1 bit of row in a box adds to 15, and every 3 by 1 bit of column adds to the same number. Now, sometimes we deal with magic squares, and we say that 1 can't go in the middle, and indeed can't even go in a corner, where in the middle, because in a magic square there are 4 runs that add up to 15, and in the corner there are 3, but that's because we're including diagonals in magic squares. Today we're not, we're just looking at horizontals and verticals. 1 has 2 possible makeups of a 15 in 3 cells, and they are 1, 5, 9 and 1, 6, 8. So that must be what these digits are. 2 can go with a pair that adds to 13 that could be 9, 4, 5, 8 or 6, 7. What digit did I not mention there? Well, 1 and 2, but they're already in the box. I didn't mention 3. So that row doesn't have a 3, and that column doesn't have a 3. No, yes, that's correct. And therefore the 3 in the box is here. And these are a 4, 7 pair. What do they go with the 2? 2 plus 4 is 6, so we need a 9 to make 15. 2 plus 7 is 9, so we need a 6. So this has become a 6, 9 pair, and that means this is a 5, 8 pair. And now let's check the rows leading up to the 3. 3 plus 8 plus 4 will do it, 3, 5 and 7. So I can't orientate this square yet, but I do know these pairs are correct. And hang on, I was going to say one of these digits must be a 3 because I'm getting my Sudoku wrong. I was then going to say that doesn't work because this can't add up to 15. More importantly, I was wrong. So those 2 3s mean one of these 3 is a 3. It can't go there because those couldn't add up to 15 then. You can't put a 10 in a cell. So one of those is a 3. 1 is also not going to become adjacent orthogonally to the 2. It's also not going to be in those cells, or the middle digit would have to be an 11. So 1 is somewhere down here. And then 1 has to be here in this box. It can't be there because that couldn't add up to 15. It can't be there by Sudoku because we've got 2 of the corners filled. And that's a 1. We're not going to get a 3 in that corner. I suppose we could get one in that one. But despite the promise of the title, maybe very likely we're going to end up with no 3s in the corners. Now, That was good to get a 1 here. What about 2 in this box? 2 cannot go in the row or the column with the 1, or you'd need a 12. Can't go in the row or the column with the 3, or you'd need a 10, so it goes there. In fact, I think it's going to be a rule in every box that 1, 2, and 3 have to be in a diagonal. Otherwise, 2 of them would be in the same horizontal or vertical. No, they don't necessarily have to be in that sort of diagonal shape or this one. They could be like that, as long as they are separated out. And I suspect the same by symmetry of numbers must be the true about 9, 8, and 7. You can't put them in the same row bit or column bit as each other, or you're breaking the rule. So that is true. And because that is true in each box, bit of theory here, if you have a 1, 2, 3 arrangement where 1 is in each row, column and box, and you have a 9, 8, 7 arrangement where 1 is in each row, column and box, you've only got 1 left in each row, column and box for 4, 5, 6. So they must follow the same rule. And you can probably see here, I expect we can demonstrate it, that if that was a 6, this would be 4 and that would be 5, and the whole thing would be, as I've said, 1 in each row, column and box. So, how do we then advance the puzzle? We know very little about this central cell. We know almost as little about that, pretty much not much about that. And this, you can see I've reduced to 5 candidates. So maybe we have to focus here. This is 2, 3, or 4. Oh, we've got the King's move rule. Mr. King is telling me that we've got the King's move rule. That is how we're going to get some disambiguation done. I don't know how yet. Let me think about that. I know that we've got a 1 in one of these cells. I haven't pencil marked that. No, I don't know how to use it, but it's going to be important. We've got the King's move rule, and then we've got this central cell rule, and that's just not doing a lot for me. Okay, this is a thought. Imagine that's a 7. I don't know if this is going to pan out, but I am going to think about it. If that's a 7, 7 can't go in any of those cells. I'm including the King's move in my thinking. Now, I also believe 7 can't go in these cells because this group of cells would be a 1, a 7, and what to add up to 15? Well, another 7. That's not allowed. So if that was a 7, this one would have to be a 7. And then this digit would be a 6 to get the 15 working in that group. So we'd have 7 there, 7 there. Oh, well, it's sort of going to be the same for a 4. Okay, I'm colouring this cell, it's pink. If that was a 4, 4 can't go in any of those cells. 4 also can't go in the group with 1, because then you'd need a 10 to make the sum up to 15. So that digit, whether it's 4 or 7, must go here. Its opposite number is either 9 or 6, which is obviously the same as that digit, because that can't be the same as that. So now let's colour the opposite type of digit. We'll have pink versus light blue. We'll have yellow versus red. There we go. Now, this can't be a 1 at all, because again you'd have either 1, 4, 10 or 1, 7, 7, both illegal for different reasons. So that is a 1. And now this is not a 3, because we have to have these 1, 2 and 3 in different rows and columns within the same box. 1 plus 6 leaves 8, 1 plus 9 leaves 5. So that is a 5 or an 8. By the king's move rule, yes, you were expecting it, and yes, it came true. Green and orange will have to be different there, and that must be green. Now, let's keep going. So we've got 3 plus green equals bright blue. That's the same here. And now we've got roping in the top 3 rows. I suspect we'll have a lot of roping in the puzzle, probably. Just it seems that's the way things go. Anyway, down this column we've got bright blue and 2, so we need red to go with it. And then this one is going to be the other digit, which is orange. Now, can we pull off the same trick somehow? It was really good for 4 or 7 because of the 1. Okay, so this 4 or 7 can't be in this row by Sudoku, and it can't be here because 1 never goes with a 4 or a 7. So it's in one of those 2 cells. Mr. King tells us which one. He says put it there. So pink, green and orange go together. 1, orange and red go together. Red, 2 and light blue go together. Light blue, 3 and green go together. And we've sort of populated the top of the puzzle in a very strange manner that I wasn't expecting to use. And maybe don't have to, but I'm loving it anyway, so we are using it. Now, how are we going to extend this downwards? It's probably going to require these central cells to play a part. Oh, this could be tricky though. This could be tricky. So this light blue can't go in those cells. And it can't go with a 1. I don't quite know what to do. I mean, I'm sure this is the place we're meant to be focusing. If this was a 2, its partners are... Okay, I'm going to say this can't be a 2. And I might be wrong about this, but yeah, no, this is not a safe conclusion because 2 has more options. Oh, rottenness. Right, I am at least going to explain why this can't be a 1, and then I'll try and broaden why I thought for a moment that could be a 2. This can't be a 1 because 1 either goes with orange and red in every vertical or horizontal threesome, or with bright green and yellow. Well, if that was a 1, I was going to say you couldn't put either bright green or yellow there, but actually you could put red there, orange there, bright green and yellow here, and still, okay. I failed to explain why that can't be a 1. It can be. This is getting trickier now. Okay, I've had a thought that I haven't had before. So let's use this 1. Not only does it place a 1 in one of those cells, we know there's only 1 low digit in this group. We've established before that 1, 2 and 3, there's 1 in each row and column in the threesomes in each box. So the 1 in this group is a 3, and the 1 in this group is a 2, and we can do the same down here. There's a 2 there, there's a 3 in one of those. But down here we have a 3. Now, is this going to be any use? 3 plus what? Oh, I'm just seeing now. We're always going to have these groups, aren't we? Because 1 is always going to have to go with orange and red on one axis and green and yellow on the other. And therefore 2 never gets the chance to go with both 5 and 8 in this puzzle. Oh, that's very interesting. That was why I was thinking this could be 2. because it could go with 5 and 8 there. In fact, my thinking was wrong. I was just thinking because that couldn't be red or bright blue, we were stuffed in making that 2. It turns out the thinking was just as bad as for here, but okay, that can be 2, but what we now know in the puzzle is 2 never goes with 5 and 8, because in each box, 1 is going to go with orange and red on one direction, green and yellow in the other, and therefore orange and green are never going to be in the same row or column, and they can't therefore go with 2. So the same is going to apply to 3. Once we've applied that to 1 and 2, 3 is in the same boat. 3 is always going to go with green and bright blue in one direction, orange and pink in the other. Well, it's here, it's not going to be 3 green and blue, because we couldn't put the bright blue in. It's going to be 3 orange and pink in this group of cells. Orange, pink and 3. This digit cannot be pink by the king's move. Now we've got row pink. Orange, pink and 3 must go in these cells as well. 1 green and yellow must now go in these cells and in these cells. These must be 2 light blue and red. Now, yellow is looking at that cell by the move, by the king's move. What else do we know? That can't be green and orange because they don't go together in a row. These rows, these colours for the rows and columns are fixed. So that can't be a green-orange pair, therefore one of them is low, one of them is 1 or 3, and now this can't be 2. So it must be red or bright blue. Now, 1 was very helpful relating to this box, but what are we going to do for the rest of the grid? How are we going to branch this out into the rest of the grid anywhere? And I do not know the answer to that. Still got to do a bit more thinking then. This is 1, 5, 8 and 6, 9. Now that was, one of those is 1 or 3. One of these 2 is 2. That means 2 can't be in either of these cells. So the only way for 2 to be in this group is to sit here. Oh, we can assume roping. That's interesting. We don't know which way round it goes, but we can assume roping vertically and horizontally for the whole puzzle because of this business of 1 is always going with yellow and bright green or with red and orange. Now that means you can never, in these columns, you can never have a vertical of 1 red orange because it would clash with one of these cells. Therefore 1 red orange is always horizontal, and the same is true in all of these boxes. 1 red orange must always be horizontal somewhere, and that is in itself going to give you roping. As soon as you get one set of digits roped like that, then you ask where this one goes in this box and it must be there. And yeah, so that is gonna force roping through the whole puzzle. But I don't know whether that's the 1 set or the 3 set. I mean, I do know that this digit can't be any of those by the king's move and so on and so forth. But it could be any of these. That could easily be 1, 3 or 5 in those cases. Or even that 4. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Right, let's think here. Okay, I was beginning to wonder, how are we ever going to disambiguate these, for instance, green and orange? It's going to come through these cells somehow. that have to obey this rule about the central cell of each box having to be less than or equal to the box number. And that's pretty strange. One is in this group with what? With either 6 and 8 or 5 and 9. Now that means this is 1, 5 or 6. It's not 2 or 4. If it's a 1, this pair is green and yellow, and we would know the order. That would be green and that would be yellow. But if that was yellow, it would be 6, and this would be a 1-8 combination. And there's nothing to prevent that being the case. I think almost that this colouring I've already done is about as much as can be done here, which is disappointing. I'm going to have to think about this place again, which just keeps leading me down a blind alley. Maybe now that we know that we have roping everywhere, it's not quite so bad, although I don't know why yet. If this was a 2 or a 3. So if it was a 2, that group goes there and there. What's the problem with that? Is there a problem with that? I doubt it. This cell. Okay, if this, in that situation where this is a 2, that roping creates the roping of this with that and that. Now that would require this group of cells to be 1, green and yellow. And this one sees green and 1 by the king's move, so it would have to be yellow, and that would be slightly better than I thought we could be possibly doing at this point. But that's all dependent on this being 2. If that's a 3, we've got a different roping setup. Those go together, and then those go together, and then this cell is not trying to be a 1 in any way, or indeed green. Goodness me, I don't know. I'm really pleased with the deduction so far, but this isn't getting easier to me. I'm probably missing something now. Okay, we've got 1 and 1 looking at these cells in box 8. So the 1 in the box is going somewhere here. And in one place, it's vertical with a green and yellow pair. So it's either 1 green and yellow there, or 1 green and yellow there. The horizontal rows are always the same groups. They're either blue, green 3, red, orange 1, pink, yellow 2. This group can't be blue, green 3 because there would be a clash of some sort with that. If you put 3 there, great, but you've got to put green in one of these. So blue, green 3 is either here or here. This is either 1 red, orange or 2 yellow, pink. And the 3 in the box has to be in one of these cells. No, one of these cells. Okay, I think this is a principle. Yellow, pink, 2 is there. So this can't be yellow, pink, or 2. Actually, I've done that in the colouring already. Yellow, pink, 2 is either there or there. Okay, so this is either 1 red, orange, or 3 green, blue. If it's 3 green, blue, this has to be the 2 group because it sees in a way the 1 group and the 3 group. So this would have to be 2 yellow, pink. If this was the 1 group, that's what was no, if this was the 3 group, that would be the 2 group. If this was the 1 group, that would be the 2 group, and this would be the 3 group. Oh, well, I've just discovered something quite interesting. It might not help, but I'm going to mention it. If this is the 1 group, this is the 3 group, because that can't be over here. If this is the 3 group, which is 3 green and blue, 3 can't go there or there. This digit would be 3. Keep your mind on that while I discuss what happens if the 3 group goes here. This is the 2 group, and it's 2 yellow and pink. And this digit can't be pink or yellow. This would be 2. Ah, so it would be 2 there, yellow here because it can't be in column 4, and pink there. If this is the which way round was it? That was if this is the 3 group. If this is the 1 group, this is the 2 group, this is the 3 group. And if this is the 3 group, 3's in the middle. We just worked that out because of the king's move. 3 is in the middle with green there and blue here. So these are the 2 possibilities, 2 or green, 3 or yellow. These are the sorts of sentences you can only say on Cracking the Cryptic, and that is blue or pink. Well, that's interesting. I don't know that it yields to any universal conclusions. Oh, goodness. But it's interesting that these came down to 2 possibilities each. These must as well. So if that's the 1 group, this is the 2 group. This time there may not be only 2 possibilities. We're using 2 yellow and pink here. That's annoying because there's no king's move to determine how that reduces from 2 options to 1. So there are 2 options of that being 2 yellow and pink. And if this was the 3 group, that's the 2 group, this is the 1 group, then 1 would have to be here with orange there and red there. I wish there was something that went wrong with that. It's very unlikely. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Now, we've either got 2 there or 3 there. One of those must be true. If that's a 3, this group is a 3, this is a 1, that's a 2. 3, 1, 2. If that's a 2, that's 2, that's 3, that's 1. So it's 3, 1, 2. Or 2, 3, 1. 3, 1, 2 or 2, 3, 1. And I could have worked that out from these positions. Oh, but that, oh, it's so obvious now. Right, sorry. This is the 2 group. That can't be a 2. because this would have to be the vertical 2 group, 2 red, blue. And one of those is going to clash with these. This is not a 2. Okay, sorry it took so long, but you have to do these things. In fact, we've got the 3 group there and the 2 group there. This is clearly the 1 group, which is vertically 1 yellow, green. So that's not yellow. That's a 3 instead. This is 1 yellow, green. That is green. This is 1 and yellow in these 2 cells. I don't know how they shape up and ship out, but one of them does. So that's the 1 group. This is the 3 group, which is 3 pink and orange. And I was hoping to use this cell, but I think we're going to get to use it over here. 3 pink and orange. These 2 are pink and orange, which mean that is not 1 or 3. It is 4 or 5, and this is 7 or 8. This is the 2 group, the 2 vertical group, which is going to be blue at the top now, then 2 and red down below. And I mean, man, I'm getting a bit confused, but I've got a 2 there and a 2 there. This is the 3 group. This group abuts the 2 group, so this is the 1 group, and that's a 1. And this is 5 or 6, and I don't know which. And this is 8 or 9, but I do know which of 5 or 6 that is, because it's green or yellow. Do I? No, I bloomin' don't. This is a green-yellow pair, that's all I know. Oh, bother. But this is, I think we're still working. That can't be a 3 anymore, obviously. Now, I know that this group has the 2 in it, so 2 is in one of those cells. And we're looking at yellow and pink for the vertical group. So yellow is in one of, oh, this is where I can't decide. Yellow's in one of those cells and pink is in one of those 2. That's so strange. Okay, so they look a bit like that. But this digit is no longer able to be 2. That is important, I imagine. It's not quite working out as I hoped it would, but we are getting there. That's 4 or 7, that's 5 or 8. Got a little 5-8 pair here, that's not going to do anything. No, it's not. These are from 1, 6, 9. Oh, goodness. But we've got a 3 group and a 1 group. So this is a 2 group, which is 2 red, blue. This is a 1 group, which is 1 yellow, green. And this is a 3 group, which is 3 pink, orange. I suppose I could decorate them all with a splash of white. And that's not allowed to be a 1, so goodbye white. That's Sudoku. I am stumbling my way through this, but, oh no, I was going to look at this. No, I'm looking at this. This is touching a 2 group, so it can't be a 2 group, and it's under a 3 group. So this is a 1 group. And the 1 is, again, this is 1 yellow, green. Yellow's in one of those. This is not a 2. Ah, this is not a 2, so that is actually yellow. This had to be 2 or yellow, so that is yellow. And in fact, these aren't. These are 1 and green. I'm still trying to be a bit careful with the colouring. That yellow is 6 or 9, and that's in the 2 group now with pink here. Oh no, yes, that must be the 2. This one's pink. These are green and 1. Now we hit this and we win. We win. Because this can't be 2 and 3, because that would have to be a 10. So that's a 4. And now we know that the vertical group includes a 4, and therefore 4 is blue. And we can bloomin' well put numbers in the puzzle that aren't 1s, 2s and 3s. 2 and 4 go with 9 to make up 15. Red is 9. Oh my goodness, this is so clever. I love this. I mean, I've probably botched it every which way, but I love how good it is. Now, we've had 9, so yellow is 6. Oh, stop hitting the wrong key. 6. green is 8 to make the 15 sum work on the vertical. This green sum is 168. I think that is definite. There we go. This can't be yellow anymore because it sees 8 and 6. This is a 1. This is definitely yellow and is a 6. Oh, lovely. Right. 3 must go with 7 in pink and 5 in orange. And we've suddenly got all of the first 4 rows filled in. No. Yes. Yes. That's red. Okay. This is... I'm going to get rid of the colours now. I mean, I could keep colouring the whole grid, but there really isn't a point. It's done its job, and it's fantastic. A fantastic job by the colours. Thank you, Sven, and your Sudoku pad. That's a 2-4 pair. This is a 3-7 pair. This digit is a 5. We've got to make these 15s work. That's a 7. Can you believe this was a blank grid puzzle? I almost can't, and I've done it the whole way. That's 8 and 3. I mean, I'm just filling these beauties in now. This is 1 and 5. Now, King's move. Mr. King comes to the rescue here. That sees a 2 and a 9, so that's definitely a 4. This is 3, 7, 5, and the top can't be a 5. This is 1, 6, 8. That can't be a 1 by Sudoku, thanks to this. This pair is a 6, 8 pair. The King's move tells us which way round they go. That 6 comes out of there, 8 comes out of there. This is 2, 4, 9. The top one can't be 4. This is 3, 5, 7. We've got no King's move information. This is 2, 4, 9. The top one can't be 4. This is 1, 6, 8. This is where I'm hoping to cash in. No, that can't be 6, that can't be 8, that can't be 1. This is 3, 5, 7. The top one can't be 7. Oh, we've got the rule about these. Oh no. We did use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I'm really hoping that I've got this wrong, but I haven't. I've got something wrong because this digit can't obey the rule, which would require it to be at least... Oh no, it has to be lower. It can obey the rule. How extraordinary. It is going to. Okay, well, I was suddenly thinking the rule required these to be at least 7, 8 and 9. It doesn't. It requires them to be at most 7, 8 and 9. They are going to be. So these are not going to disambiguate me. I've got to do some work still. Is it King's move? And on this row, I can't see any violated King's move. So it might be Sudoku. These are going to obey the rule. I mean, well, no, I was sure they were going to be 7, 8, 9, but they're not. This one can't be an 8. That is a 6, 8 pair. These are 1, 6 and 1, 8 pairs. Oh, we've got the, oh, sorry, it's these rows that have got 4s and 6s in, of course. The across rows are 1, 9, 5. So this one has got a 1. It is 1, 9, 5. And that must then be here in row 7. 9, 1, 5, 9, 5, 1. And that makes this 8. I'd forgotten to use the across values of the 15 that we have to use. Oh, that's a relief. And we're going to be right here. This is a fantastic idea. I have not given it the best solve it could deserve, but I hope I have given it the appropriate amount of awe. Because believe me, the level of awe that I feel at this construction is massive. And that's why Simon wanted me to open this, because I wouldn't believe what I was going to find, and I don't. That's amazing. That is a brilliant, brilliant puzzle by Lithium Ion. Absolutely mind-blowing. One of the best empty grid ideas I've ever seen. And look, these ended up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep going, oh regular people. 5, 6, 4. I love it. Fantastic. Thank you guys for watching. Please come back tomorrow for more Sudoku. Bye for now.